Hey everybody, it's Missy Wolf, and I am here with legendary guitar player Phil X. How are you doing?
I'm good. Did you say legendary?
Dude, you've been like legendary for years. Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
I should check me out sometime.
Well, fans are so excited about your music, and you've got some news coming up. But before we get to that, I want to talk about your Instagram video that you just did the other day for your birthday. So happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You truly did win the hair lottery, and I love
Yeah.
that little song that you
Oh,
came up
thanks.
with.
That was just, a couple of chords, some words.
It was so much fun. Do you like putting up live videos for fans to see?
I really do. I love, because when you're on tour, you need something to break up the mundane day to day. You need, you want to wake up and not have the same, okay, breakfast, gym, go to sound check, do sound check, have something to eat, go on stage, get in the van. You want something to break all that up, right? So I started doing hotel room jams, and then when I didn't have time to do it at the hotel, I would do backstage tuning room jams, and I would just post everything. And it's funny that I try to keep it the realm of everything very broad.
Yeah.
From what artist I end up doing, but I think the highest viewership was my Victim of Changes from Judas Priest.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love
man.
it. But your birthday video though, I was cracking up laughing. I was sharing it with everybody because it just was so funny, and I was immediately jealous of your hair because you do. You have amazing hair, and
I
I've
don't even
never had that amazing hair.
I don't think I've never colored it. I think I got like 7 gray hairs when my son was born, and that was it.
You're like, okay, I'm good now. The stress is over.
Yeah,
We've gone through that.
it's crazy, but I mean, my whole family. If you looked at my sisters or my brother, we got it's
See?
the
In the
hair
genes.
family lottery, and
Yeah.
it's
I love that. Well, let's talk about the drills
okay.
because you have some amazing songs. I was telling you earlier that one of my favorites is Straight
That's really
Jacket.
sweet.
I
Thank
just
you.
absolutely love it. But you do most of the songwriting, do you not? And
I
I
do,
know that
yeah.
you do all the singing and the playing. Like, what has that experience been for you? Because I know you've had a lot of experience with your discography and a lot of bands that you've played for. But having your own band, what is that like?
Well, I mean, it's an incredible situation to be able to paint on so many canvases as someone who likes to express themselves. So, even when I was doing sessions in LA, I was playing on, with Tommy Lee and Rob Zombie, and then later on down the road, it was like Alice Cooper, and then I got to record with Chris Cornell, who was a hero of mine.
Right.
And we were talking about it last night. I've always felt like I didn't want to be the guy saying, "Hey man, can we get a picture?" But that would have been a great picture to get a picture with Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At this point in our lives. So
Absolutely.
I'm trying not to be weird about that anymore.
Right.
But being able to just, hey, what do you need on this song? Well, your job as a session guitar player is to take the song to another level and take the chorus, which is the Mac Daddy payoff, take that to even a higher level. That's your job. And the reason I could do that so well is because I write. I write music, I write lyrics, and it's funny because people are like, hey, why don't you just write a song and just give it to John? I'm like, I don't write those kind of lyrics, man.
No.
Listen to the Drills lyrics.
Yeah,
those
listen
are
to them. They're not.
They're not Bon Jovi
They're not Bon
lyrics.
Jovi lyrics. No.
And people are like, well, you could just change. No, then it's not honest.
Right.
I have to be honest. I have to, everything that comes out lyrically, melodically, guitar riff-wise, everything is from here. It's not from here. And that's why, I don't write a million pop songs and have more fans. I love the undergroundness of it, but I really wish more people on the planet heard the song Air Hockey Champion of the World.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. I was listening to that song last night.
Really?
Yes,
Well, thank you.
absolutely. It was fun.
But, and then obviously you go, a great example is 2011 when I first filled in for Richie Sambora. We played in St. Louis, and we did an arena, 20,000 people.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And then 5 days later, I'm playing with the Drills at the Roxy on Sunset in Hollywood, 200 people. I'm like, man, I just really miss my guitar tech. because I had to lug my 412 can
Right,
in
right,
the door.
yeah.
And but I mean, it's you know how people are like, at the risk of sounding, I don't know what it sounds like. I say, you know, do I prefer stadiums and arenas with a mega band, or do I prefer 150 to 250 people with the drills? And obviously for me, it's the drills.
Yeah.
I'm closer to the material.
Right,
You
right.
know, I wrote every word. I wrote every chord.
Yeah.
So it's I feel fortunate to be able to do both. And that's
Exactly.
what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Well, I don't even know if I'd be able to pick a favorite, honestly, because there's two totally different experiences. And I mean, you have so much to do, and I don't know how you
Yeah, like
balance
your
it
mom,
all.
right? Pick your
Yes.
favorite kid.
Right? You just,
You can't.
on a certain day, right?
Okay.
On a certain day, you have a favorite, right? Because the
Yeah.
other two are driving you nuts or whatever. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But I have to be an honest mom. But there are those times where, you know, on this specific moment, this is my favorite. But then the very next day, okay, but this is my favorite. It really is hard to choose. You
Right. And
can't
my
just
mom
pick.
used to say it's like picking a finger.
Yeah.
If you had to chop off a finger, and I'd go, easy, man, the pinky.
Right.
She goes, no, that's not the point.
It's so funny, but that's such a mom thing. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You have so much news coming up for the Drills fans. And
Yeah.
I know that you're here in Nashville and you've been recording with I think both, right? You've been doing
No.
your own stuff, or is it just Bon Jovi?
It's Bon Jovi, yeah.
Okay, so you haven't recorded. See, I thought you were here doing both. I'm glad I asked
Well,
because
it's, this is the first, like I played some overdubs on This House Is Not For Sale.
Right.
So this is my first time being in on the project from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's kind of weird being the new guy. I think you'd be stepping into a position in any job where these guys have been working together for 30 years
Yeah.
and doing this for 30 years. And then there's another guy who's been at the helm as the producer for, I don't know, 10 years or maybe
Yeah.
more with John Shanks.
2005, 2006. Have a Nice Day album, I think.
So, good on you. You're like, I know my shit, man.
I research too. I love
Yeah,
researching
that's
all
good.
music. So
But the whole point is that I'm the guy. I'm sitting there going, I don't know where to stand up and where to sit down, and not literally, because I always stand. I try to stand as much as I can. I feel like when you're recording and you're sitting, it sounds like you're sitting, and I'm all about energy. And somebody
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, I know what you mean," and I'm like, "Man, if it could be 120 degrees in LA, and I'll go to the session in pants because I feel like I sound different in shorts."
that's awesome.
It's like, it's different shoes, you know. I wear sneakers with Bon Jovi. I had this other band in LA my hair was straight up, and I was wearing like big, you know, combat type boots, and it was like I played different then. It's like, it's an extension of how you feel, how you play, how you express.
Well, and you have some great storytelling that I want to make sure we talk about because you have had inner fan moments with Rob Zombie, and I was reading your website, your discography. I've never read a better discography in my life. You actually share stories about like every
Oh, the recording.
yes, every
Yeah.
recordings that you've
I
done.
actually
and it's,
stopped doing that, and I think I should still do it.
I think you should. It's amazing. And I
thanks.
think that if fans who haven't checked out your website, you need to do that. Because honestly, you have so much out there for people to get to know you and to get to know your personality and hear your fun stories and realize they're not alone because we all have those fan moments in every profession. I don't care who
Yeah.
you are. Everybody has that influencer that they absolutely love. So getting to hear it makes me feel like completely normal because, like I told you, I was losing my stuff when I found out I got to interview you because I've been such a huge fan. And then to know that you've had those holy shit moments too.
Oh yeah.
Like, can you tell everybody at home one of them? One of your holy shit moments?
Yeah, I remember. Well, the whole thing that happened with Rob Zombie was I was actually in a true Hollywood story. In that way, I was painting the garage of the producer that was producing Methods of Mayhem for Tommy Lee in 1999, and they needed a guitar player. So hey, that guy plays guitar. So I come in and I start playing guitar, and Tommy freaked. And then the next project that Scott Humphrey, the producer, was doing was Rob Zombie. So he came in, and at the time he was like, I love what you're doing on Tommy's record. If you could play on mine, that would be great. Because he had a live band, but they always use other people in the studio. So I was the guy. So I played on that, Sinister Urge, I believe it was. So it's funny because I saw Rob Zombie in concert last year. And I'm looking at the set list going, I played on that, and that, and that. So that's kind of a cool feeling too.
Yeah.
But I remember also doing, I played guitar and bass. He did a Ramones tribute record. And we did a Rob Zombie version of Blitzkrieg Bop. And I played guitar on that. And when it was time to do the solos, Rob was sitting in a chair. So I'm doing the solo. And when I solo, even if it's in the studio, I'm on stage. You know what I mean? I feel like this is what's happening right now. This is the energy. And then, so I did a couple of takes. And Scott turns to Rob and goes, what do you think? And Rob's like, it sounds great, but I'm exhausted just watching you. And I'm thinking, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
In that respect.
I love it. And I honestly, I mean, my stories fail in comparison to that. Like, that's huge. But my God, when you get to have those experiences, it's just so exciting. And when you get to share that with fans, like, don't you feel that just ignites your passion for everything that you do?
Yeah, I feel I feel blessed.
Yeah.
I feel blessed every day. I mean, I feel blessed that I get to play guitar and be able to go home and pay the bills.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, you guys, there are sirens back
Woo,
there.
woo, 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 woo.
And
Just add to it.
you just can't ignore when they're flying down the road. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We are here in Nashville and we are having so much fun. And I have to tell you another fun song that I love of yours because I want to talk about your music.
Okay.
And we'll get to the Bon Jovi stuff, but I have to talk about Aneurysm after the alarm siren goes by. Okay.
I bet that's an ambulance.
Yeah.
And I bet there's a scooter involved. Those little things on the street.
Right.
Because people don't know how to ride those
They
things.
don't. And there's been a lot of news about
I feel bad,
those.
but someone's
Yeah.
laying in the street right now because they didn't watch where they were going.
Exactly. We actually, on our way here to your hotel, we saw a biker almost get hit by a car because he wasn't paying attention, just pulled right out into traffic and almost got
crazy.
hit.
I know.
It's absolutely insane. But
Wake up, people.
yeah, you guys need to be careful out there.
Aneurysm.
Aneurysm. That was so much fun to listen to. What made you? What inspired that? I have to know.
I was mixing because at the time I was mixing the record, and it was the songs. You know, Air Hockey Champion of the World, Middle Finger, Beautiful Apartment. I wish my beer was as cold as your heart. That's
That's
a
great.
country. It should have been a country song,
Right,
But I
it's-
rocked it the fuck out.
Yes, you did. It was great, and I love everything you do.
Well, thank you. Aneurysm I was mixing, and I was, you know, when you mix, sometimes you want to make sure that the vocal sounds good by itself before you try to fit it into a track. So I was listening to it, and I'm listening to this part in Beautiful Apartment, and I'm like, oh my God, I can hear my brain popping out, my vein popping out right here, and it sounds like my brain's going to explode. And there was a couple more of those moments, and then I just cut them together. And now it'll come on random on my phone, and I'll listen to it. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, your brain's going to explode any second now. Like I'm talking to me like I'm somebody else.
Yeah. Well, you can't help but absolutely love that song when it comes on. I love hearing it. It's so much fun. And it, like I said, I mean, the lyrics, everything about your music makes me just feel good and laugh and silly and everything because, you know, you need that feel-good music. There's always going to be time for the ballads and the emotional songs, but like real honesty, raw honesty sometimes is just what we need in a really fun, kick-ass way, and you do that amazingly.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're
I have fun doing it. But I mean, I feel like it's a twist on experiences that everybody's had. So I think that's the attraction.
Yeah.
But, and then, I mean, I feel like everything's been written. So you're saying the same thing, so just find a different way to say it.
Exactly.
And that's what when I do clinics and when I talk to young musicians and stuff and they ask about songwriting and stuff, that's the thing.
Right.
You know, you don't want to write when I look into your eyes because it's in 4 billion songs.
It is. It is. It absolutely is. I love it. And I also know that you have some friends in town that absolutely love your music, love your gift, because Matthew Nelson always talks about how great you are. Every time I ever talk with him and Gunnar, like, they always talk about you and how awesome you are. And, you know, Mike Crumpus, who obviously we both love.
Great too. We go way back.
You
way
do.
Back.
Well, you're both from Canada, right?
Yeah. But
So is that where you met, or no?
I was 16 when we met. Yeah. I was older. Maybe pushing 20. I forget.
Sorry, we don't have to talk about age.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Well, I'm good with it.
Are you?
I won the hair lottery.
You did win the hair. Yes, you did. Okay, well, I'm not good with my age, so I'm not talking about it. But we're both March babies, and then you have John, who just had a birthday too. So did you guys celebrate together?
And Everett too yesterday.
Oh,
Everett,
see?
our percussion player.
Yeah.
He had his birthday yesterday. I didn't know it was in there. My March 10th. John's March 2nd. You know what was really cool though? Somebody opened up the Bon Jovi calendar from the last tour, and they put my picture on March instead of John's, and I thought that was kind of sweet.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I love that. That's really sweet.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
boss.
Whoever did that. Yes, thank you. Was it John that did that?
Well, he could have said no.
Yeah, he could have said no. You're right.
If he didn't pick it.
You're right.
He said, "Hey, that's my birthday month."
Right.
Yeah.
So there's an experience that you have coming up singing with Bon Jovi, and that is you're going to be performing in the Wembley Stadium.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. Well, Hassan, who's out that way, who's a huge fan of yours, I was just talking to him a little bit ago, and he wants to know if you have any thoughts that you can offer Bon Jovi fans that are out there that are going to be going to that show.
I don't know if I understand the question.
What your thoughts are about performing at Wembley Stadium and how
okay.
amazing it is that you're going to be there.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I was trying to paraphrase his question, and I'm sorry if I didn't ask it correctly.
I believe it's one of those things because it kind of stays out of your mind until it's getting closer in the calendar because it's June or July.
Yeah.
And so people are like, "Hey, are you playing in London this year?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Wembley Stadium." Like holy shit. I mean, it's one of those venues. You grow up as a child and you see your heroes play these venues. So Madison Square Garden was one of those venues, and Wembley Stadium is one of those venues. You're like, we're playing there. Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
I mean, it's hard to even put that into more words. Right. I feel like no word can express the feeling of anticipation.
Absolutely. Even as a fan, being able, like for me, going to MSG shows, I love going there.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing place to finally be able to visit and to see a show at. But I've never been able to even consider going to Wembley Stadium. Like that would be in and of itself one of the biggest things I think ever for any concert goer's life, you know?
It was funny because I've played MSG now 4 times, and then but the first time I was doing sound check and I'm looking up and you see Madison Square Garden lit up, and I was like frozen. and you don't freeze at sound check. So John's like, "Hey, what's up?" I go, "I've never even been in this building before, let alone on the stage." Yeah. He's like, "Soak it up, kid. It rocks." And that was it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
"Don't call me kid."
Right? I mean, well, but okay, but you're kind of the kid of the group.
I am the kid of the group.
You are the kid of the
I'm
group.
the kid of the group, yeah.
And your energy on stage is completely just amazing, and
thanks.
you help keep those fans energized, and I know that there are so many diehard fans out there who when they announced that you were going to be a member, you were going to be a full-time member, it was a big deal. Yeah. And people were immediately like, because if they didn't know the Drills, they didn't know your music, and they were who's this? We want to make sure. Yeah. And everybody, I've not heard one fan complain ever. Everybody just fell in love with you immediately, and that has been for me one of the greatest things to ever see, because you never know when bands have different members how it's going to go, and you have people that don't want change, and then that's even with country music here in Nashville. People are very vocal about not liking change, and I never heard one negative thing about you joining that band, so I love that.
There's a whole group of people you didn't talk to.
You're right. I didn't talk to them.
There are some diehards that, and I understand that, because I think about, like, I have 2 examples. Like, it's harder to replace a singer than it is a guitar player, especially when the band is named after the singer.
Yeah.
But Highway to Hell, amazing, right? Bon Scott passed away. Back in Black, Brian Johnson, amazing record, and they carried on. It was great. I prefer the Roth era Van Halen over Sammy Hagar, and I love Sammy Hagar, but I didn't like him as much in Van Halen.
Same here.
So, but I'm okay. I'm not afraid to throw out my age. I saw Van Halen in 1980 when I was 14 with Roth. I saw him with Roth 4 times. It was Women Children First tour, Fair Warning tour, Diver Down tour, 1984 tour, and then they went on. So kind of it's closer to my heart because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of thing, like was Joe Perry wasn't in Aerosmith for a minute, and they had another guy, and I wonder how many people know that there was a guy named Joey Crespo that was in Aerosmith for one record and a tour.
I didn't know that. I'll be honest. I did not know that. You got me.
Research.
I know.
So, I mean, it's one of those things, and there's diehard fans that want it to be what it was, and there's diehard fans that, as long as they keep going, man, just keep it going. I want to go to more shows. I want to hear new songs, and just keep the ball rolling. That's it, and that's what keeps everything moving,
Yeah, well, I love it. I love everything that you've ever done. And I mean, Tommy, my husband, the one behind the camera, he loves the fact that you've played on Kelly Clarkson's album because you played, I think his favorite song, what was it? The one that, Don't Let Me Stop You. So you played on so many different sounds, genres, and it's just amazing that you can just go from one to another. Who are your influences that inspire all of this creativity?
Well, I'm a song guy. So I love songs. I had an AM radio when I was a kid, and every song that came on sucked me in. And it could have been like something, I'm going to be random. It could have been like The Things We Do for Love by 10cc, or it could have been Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo by Rick Derringer. I mean, and I had the 45s too. I had 45s, and it was funny because all the 45s got edited down. So there was a whole solo in Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo that I didn't know was there because they cut it out. There was a whole section in Frankenstein by Edgar Winter Group that wasn't on the 45. So when I heard the long play, I was like, what's that? So, I mean, that's the thing about 45s, but at the same time, you heard all these songs that were just great songs and great rock and roll. So learning them, and then being in a cover band and having to play 3 45-minute sets every night, and then becoming an inventive guitar player because you want to stand out and not be a copycat. All that was constantly going into my head. And then the classics like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and to Black Sabbath. Everything hit me. So I have this gigantic pool of not only inspiration, but a pool of creative juices that swirl together with all my influences. And then when somebody goes, we need you to do this on a Kelly Clarkson song, I could go over here and inject.
That's fantastic.
Or if it's Alice Cooper, or if it's Avril Lavigne, or the next week it could be Gavin DeGraw. And okay, we're going to take this and put it in there. And and when I started doing sessions, it was, okay, so we need the big chorus, and we need you to do something pixie dusty on top, maybe an arpeggio with some chorus and a lot of reverb and stuff like that. And that was the formula. And why they kept calling me back was I would push that. Because when you're on the 6th song, you need to switch it up.
Yeah.
I go, I don't think I want to do the thing. And the engineer's like, well, what are you going to do? All scared. I'm like, let's try this. I do a different tuning. I do something else. I get a different tone and put it in the chorus. And he's like, okay, that's amazing. Let's do that. Yeah. And then the producer walks in and goes, what's going on here? That's awesome. And walks out. And then, hey, we got to get that Phil guy because he doesn't stick to the norm,
right.
And that's why I was so busy for years. Right. And then just to keep the story going, that's when I started doing videos for YouTube for vintage guitars, and that's where John Shanks saw a bunch of videos I said, holy shit, this guy can play and sing anything. So when John Bon Jovi called him and said, I need a guy, just in case, over here, sitting idle, just in case we need him. Because there were some instances, right?
Yeah.
Some situations.
Yes.
So that's when he said, you got to get this guy. I can't stop watching him on YouTube.
And didn't you already have a relationship, though? Because
I
you
did.
played in 1991, I believe it was,
Yeah.
on Leave On.
Yeah, and I was touring with Aldo Nova, and he was so tight with Aldo Nova, he came on 2 stages with us and sang one, our single, which was Blood on the Bricks, and then we learned Blaze of Glory to play it with him. So
That's
that was
awesome.
exciting, too, being 23.
Right?
Yeah. So, but what happened was, I mean, it's John Bon Jovi. You think he remembers every kid he's ever played with?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, I bet, and I've seen it happen before, like he's done something with somebody else and said, hey, remember this person? He goes, the name sounds familiar. Tell me who it is again. So I think it was probably a moment like that.
Right.
Like, because I kept in contact with Tony, his brother, and Matt, his other brother.
Yeah.
Tony more, because he lived in LA and he actually directed a video for one of my bands.
Nice.
So I'm sure John was like, that Phil X name sounds familiar. And he's like, dude, he was in Aldo's band 20 years ago. You know, it was one of those.
Awesome.
I knew it was one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So what do you guys have coming up? I know that you can't give up too much information, but the fans are dying. They want like a sneak peek, something. What can they expect out of this upcoming album? Like the energy. Can you give us
And we're talking about Bon Jovi right now?
both? I want to know both because you're working.
Yeah. See, Bon Jovi, I can't really say anything.
No, you can't say anything about it.
I can say that there's been some exciting material that's been going down the last week. It's some really great stuff.
Well, you guys all seem super excited. You guys have all been posting on social media little videos of studio time. And
I go through modes. I'm like post, and then I take a little break, and that's when you lose people, man. I gotta stay on top of it.
Yeah.
But the drill stuff, I can talk more about. We have a release date, which is May 3rd.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and we've recorded so many songs, but the climate in the industry has changed. Fans have changed. Everybody wants more content, but not all at the same time. So we're putting out volumes.
Oh, nice.
So the volume 1 is coming out May 3rd, and it's 6 songs, 6 different drummers, because we have a different drummer on each song. So we have Abel Boyle Jr. from Paul McCartney's band. We have Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters. We have Glenn Sobel, who plays with Alice Cooper. Brent Fitz, who is also Canadian, he's on tour with Slash right now. And we have Randy Cook, who's also another Canadian, and plays with Mike Kay.
Yep, I know.
And we go way back as well. And oh my God, I'm being a dick forgetting somebody. Because Matt Chamberlain came in off the road with Soundgarden in 2015 and did a track with us. So this is volume 1. And volume 2 is another batch of drummers. It's like Tommy Lee and Ray Luzier from Korn, who's also a local now. And Kenny Aronoff and Liberty DeVito, and even Tico played on a song for me. So it's just, that's what I mean. We recorded 15 drummers, so just, I don't want to put out a full record and just get lost. Right. And I also believe in mini albums and EPs because they're like 20 minutes of music is perfect for your drive wherever you gotta go, right? Oh, I gotta go to work 20 minutes. I listen to that whole record, right? That's me.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Now, are you excited about going on the cruises as well? I almost forgot to talk about it.
I'm not going on the cruises.
You're not going to go on the cruises
I'm not
now?
going on the cruises.
Why did I think you were going on the cruise?
Because I don't know.
I don't know. That's my bad.
There was a couple of things in the works. One was it's me playing in John Bon Jovi and the Kings of Suburbia because I've done that too, but I don't anymore. So there was a talk of, hey, are you going to be there? I'm like, no, I'm not going to be there. But I kind of like the separation. Yeah. I kind of like, he doesn't call Tico and go, hey, you want to do this gig? So I feel like a bigger part of the band when I don't get asked to do his side thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
okay.
And I got, I want this record with the drills to really hit other levels. So I'm putting a lot of energy into that. We're doing 5 promo shows to promote the new record.
Is one of them going to be in Nashville?
No.
No, of course
You know, I had to. We were gonna get close,
Okay.
but before we leave for the Bon Jovi tour in June, there's rehearsals. So with the rehearsal schedule, I could only squeeze in like 2 shows one
Right.
weekend, which are in California, and then
Yeah.
the only one that's outside is in Phoenix.
Oh,
We're
okay.
playing in Phoenix in May 17th. I mean, I'm literally flying from rehearsal to Phoenix.
I was going to say,
do the
but
gig.
at least it's a short flight.
is a short flight.
It's not a long flight, but I have so many friends out there. I will be sure to send them to that show because I know that
Okay.
they're just absolutely going to love
Yeah,
it.
so it'll be all splashed on Instagram and stuff
All
this
right.
week, the shows, the record release, all that stuff.
So we'll be sure to promote that. Now, where can fans find you? Where's your website, social media? How can they find you?
Well, I'm so, I want to say I'm busy, but I'm lazy too. I'd love to keep up the Drills website, but it's way behind. PhilX.tv is usually current, but I think the most current is media. I think
Yeah,
Instagram
it really
is
is.
always current. Twitter, and we were talking about the Q&As
Yes.
lately.
Yes.
The Twitter is all that stuff's going there. Facebook, I don't know. Facebook's a weird animal right now. It's you feel like it's gonna tank, and then
Yeah.
you feel like it's gonna be the Titanic, but then it just keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps making its way back.
I know.
I know. Last week was a pretty difficult week for a lot of Facebook users. So I was like, okay, Twitter, what's up, Twitter? Because you couldn't get stuff out. It wasn't releasing, or people weren't able to comment.
But
It
you
was
know,
just
okay, this is my take on all that stuff. This is my take on a couple of things. I'll just be brief.
no problem.
My take on the media thing is, I post a lot, but I know people that post more. And are you really enjoying life if you're taking a picture or reposting somebody else's picture? And are you really enjoying your life when you're just, I gotta make this look better and da-da-da-da-da, and then post it?
Yeah.
It used to be way more artistic.
Yeah.
Like when I first started Instagram years ago, like 3,000 posts ago, it was about taking an image and making it look really cool with the filters and stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's all about what everybody's doing, and there's nothing wrong with that because
Right.
I love talking about what I'm doing, right?
Right.
But it's one of those things. When I go to a concert now, this is another point of view, I barely take my phone out. Because somebody else is going to post it on YouTube
Yeah.
the next day,
Yeah,
and I want to see
absolutely.
this, not this.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now, I will say, though, for social media, for me, it's all about my dog and the magazine, stuff that I'm doing with the magazine,
Right.
different interviews, different people. But, man, I love when you can use those filters and make pictures look amazing still. I absolutely love
Totally.
that.
That's amazing.
It's so much fun. And when you capture that dog doing something funny or whatever, like, for me, it's just fun. And I'm like, okay, I have to share it to everybody. And I know it's silly, but it's, for me, like, that makes me so happy to share those moments with
But
people.
this is a funny one from the last tour. We were sometimes I'm downstairs working with my guitar tech, like, hey, change the pickup in this guitar for tonight. And then they do the VIP tour, right? So I'll take pictures with the VIPs coming through. So there was one picture that I took with these 2 girls. And then when they posted it the next day, I was like, they did not look like that. Wait a minute, that's not even my eye color. Like, they not only blurred them out and made them look more attractive, but they fixed me too. And I was like, well, thanks, but that's weird, man. That's kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I for myself, my like selfies or whatever, mine are all no filter because I am who I am and they're going to see what I really look like on camera. So
Right.
why change it
Yeah.
on Instagram? I'm not going to do that for me, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's hysterical. I got a photo back of myself not too long ago and I was like, wait a minute, those are not my eyes either.
Right.
And it's the weirdest thing when you see yourself with different eyes. I don't know. It's kind of creepy to me.
It was kind of, but it was, I actually posted, I didn't want to post them.
Yeah.
Because they were actually kind of sweet. Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to post a picture of them, so I just posted the picture of me, and I'm like, somebody did this to me.
That's
I
funny.
was like, I feel violated. No, it's like, bizarre though. It's bizarre to see yourself look like Fabio from a romance novel cover.
It's pretty funny, and I'm so glad you brought that up. And yes, he was on many romance covers because my mom had them all.
Wow.
Joanna Lindsay was the author, yes.
Wow. Okay.
I
She knows a
know.
lot of stuff, man.
You know what? Check him out. Don't worry about my useless information. He's amazing, and you guys got to go to his website, go to his social media, and until next time, guys, we'll see you soon.